Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. You're all making Gotham great again. Yeah, let's get that PV rolling. So, we all just heard that John Bolton, well, he claims he resigned. Trump said he fired him. I'm happy. Bolton is an evil guy. He's a bad dude. But MSNBC is like mad that he's gone because he would have helped push Trump into more crazy wars. I don't like Trump. I'm not a fan of him at all. But when he says he, doesn't want to go into all these wars, or he wants to negotiate peace with Kim Jong-un, okay. He wants to have peace talks with the Taliban, all right. I don't like Trump. I think he's full of shit. He ran on an anti-interventionist campaign. Since he's been president, he's upped the troop counts. He's bombed Syria. He upped the troop counts in Afghanistan. But Bolton, these guys, Bolton, are nuts. So having Bolton out of there is overall, it's a good thing. It's good. It's just good. But the corporate media, MSNBC, they're such warmongers. They're mad that now a guy that would have absolutely pushed Trump into war is gone. It's insane. Watch this.
There are important questions to be asked about the immediate effects of John Bolton's departure from the White House. What does this mean for the Trump approach to North Korea? What does this mean for the Trump approach to Iran? What does this mean more generally?
Okay. Valid news. This is something that should be discussed.
John Bolton, Donald Trump's third national security advisor, is out. Donald Trump claiming that he ousted Bolton over policy disagreements, while Bolton maintains that he offered to resign last night and turned in that resignation this morning. And whatever you thought of Bolton's foreign policy views, he was largely seen as a check on some of the president's most reckless and childlike impulses. Things like sucking up to Kim Jong-un and staging a summit with the Taliban at Camp David.
A bad choice from start to finish, although ironically, he was right on a couple of things that were profound disagreements with the president. That is, if we can believe what Bolton has evidently been telling people, that he disagreed with the president's approach to North Korea, which has been a debacle.
What Adam Schiff is talking about is Trump trying to get peace with a nuclear power. Again, I don't like Trump. I would never vote for that man in a million years. But anyone that's like trying to negotiate peace, what the American basic foreign policy for North Korea has been is provoke, 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 provoke.
Disagreed with this reality TV effort to have a summit with the Taliban at Camp David.
And what's the lesson?
A reality TV effort. Look, we've been in Afghanistan 18 years. The Taliban, for better or for worse, they still run the show. So if you want to negotiate peace, you're going to have to negotiate with them. When Nixon negotiated with the North Vietnamese, was this the response? He had to negotiate with the North Vietnamese. That's how you negotiate peace. Again, I'm not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. Trump says racist, awful things. But this shows you that what I'm showing you is not that I'm some huge Trump supporter, but I'm showing you that MSNBC pushes for war. They push for war. Anyone that doesn't push for war, they go up, they say bad. No, we don't like. Hillary Clinton, warmonger. Obama, warmonger. George Bush, warmonger. MSNBC, yeah. Any of the criticisms of those people were never about, hey, they're doing too much war. They never criticized too much war, ever.
Right? The lesson is, if you oppose this president, and if you try to give him rational advice, and I'm no John Bolton apologist, I think I disagree with him on most issues, but on this, he's right. And what did he get for it? He got
fired.
He got fired embarrassingly, and the president trashed him on his way out.
So let me separate those two issues. The fact that anybody that disagrees with Trump gets fired, that's absolutely true, and that is a criticism you should point out to any president. But again, look how they're couching this conversation. Anyone that wasn't in favor of war, ooh. So this is MSNBC, they're John Bolton fans.
Why did Bolton lose his job? Because he actually disagreed. And so, you don't know what to fear most, Bolton agreeing with the president or Bolton disagreeing. And, but any dissent, anything that isn't aligned with the mercurial instincts of this person who rules by fiat and not through a deliberative process, is not only frowned upon, but they get the axe.
We could have the second coming of, as national security advisor, the greatest one in history, running a perfect process, and still we'd have a president who could care less and wasn't interested in facts, history, analysis, or the national interest. And that's what we have. So we have two problems: a process, a national security decision-making process.
That's a fair thing to say, but let's be clear. Susan Rice is big. She's a big warmonger. So just if you take her words, that's a fair assessment and a fair criticism of Trump. But look who it's coming from.
That is badly broken, and a president who is not interested in rational decision making that serves the national interest.
What has all of this changing of the cast time and time again, moment by moment, what has it gotten? I've made a list. Is Maduro still in Venezuela? Yes. Is Russia still in Crimea? Yes. Is Kim still firing missiles? Yes. Is China building islands in the middle of the South Pacific? Yes. Is NATO weakened? Is the UK in shambles? What has he accomplished by way of foreign policy?
So that guy on MSNBC is mad that we're not at war with all those places. Do you see this, the war machine, how it pushes the narrative? So then neoliberals watch this, and I know some of them in Hollywood, and they're like, so now the neoliberals are mad that Trump is not going to war. So there's no anti-war movement. And this is how effective the ruling class and the war machine is. We had an anti-war movement on the left during the Bush years. People on the left were vehemently opposed to this illegal war in Iraq. Right? That's why so many people, myself included, voted for Obama. I don't want any more of these Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm done. At the time in our post 9/11, today's September 11th, it was like, well, we need to respond in some way. Okay, we go to Afghanistan. Iraq, I don't get. There's no weapons. All the Iraq, everyone protested Iraq. Not everyone, but many people, most of the left did. There was mass protests for the war in Iraq. Obama gets into power, drops more bombs than Bush, and the left just quietly went to sleep. No more anti-war talk. The cool president with the nice, fun tweets. Obama's tweets were presidential. He never called countries shitholes. He just bombed the shit out of them. Let me say this again. This is a fact. Obama dropped more bombs than George W. Bush. He jailed more whistleblowers than George W. Bush. He put Chelsea Manning in jail. He effectively put Julian Assange in jail by putting him in house arrest at the Ecuadorian embassy. Chelsea Manning was jailed and tortured. When Obama was drone striking the Middle East, the left went to sleep. And now the left is mad that what? Now, again, I don't think Maduro is some great guy. I don't think he's the Gandhi of Central America, but it's real clear. Chavez and then Maduro had oil. They didn't want to give it to American oil interests, American oil companies, so now we got to bomb them. Same with Iran. Iran has the audacity to put a country, first of all, in the middle of all of our military bases. I don't know where they get the nerve for that. And then they have the audacity to put a country above our oil. I don't know, they have so much nerve. He's listing all the places that we got to ramp up the war machine, because we know Boeing, Raytheon, they buy ad time at MSC, and they buy ad time at all of them. Fox, CNN, whatever. They all push war. They all push war. Right? So this is MSNBC wants you to make you think more. And
hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out.
No, absolutely not. But this is who John Bolton is. Everyone should be celebrating that the guy that said this on Fox News back in February, this is what John Bolton said.
We're looking at the oil assets. That's the single most important income stream to the government of Venezuela. We're looking at what to do to that. We want everybody to know we're looking at all this very seriously. We don't want any of
This is Fox News. Venezuelan financial assets in U.S. now belong to Guaido. This is when Guaido, CIA puppet, just stood up and said, I'm in charge now because Maduro wouldn't give us our oil. He starts this interview saying we just need their oil. He just said it. He just says it.
American businesses or investors caught by surprise. They can see what President Trump did yesterday. We're following through on it.
So if you think of a company like Citgo, which is owned by PDVSA, which is the state-run oil company there in Venezuela, we have a
state-run oil. Who was in charge of the State Department? Trump's first Secretary of State was Rex Tillerson, former head of ExxonMobil. So the State Department, it's not state, we don't have state-run oil, we have a corporate-run State Department. ExxonMobil was running the State Department. Just to clarify that for the good folks over at Fox News. You see how they're all full of shit?
those Citgo assets right here in the U.S. Is that something, for example, sir, that you're looking at?
Yeah, well, we're in conversation with major American companies now that are either in Venezuela or, in the case of Citgo, here in the United States. I think we're trying to get to the same end result here. You know, Venezuela is one of the three countries I call the troika of tyranny. It'll make a big difference to the United States economically if we could have American oil companies really invest in and produce the oil capabilities in Venezuela. It'd be good for
He just said it. Venezuelan regime change, big business opportunity for John Bolton. This is the guy you're mad is gone? Does the left, do the neoliberals even know what they're just anything? They just, about Trump, we don't like any. This is John Bolton on Fox News just saying, yeah, America needs to get oil. This is good for American oil companies. He just said it. It's not about the freedom of the Venezuelan people. No, it's not. We sanction countries that won't give us their resources, which is a form of warfare, and we push them and push them and push their leaders, and some of them are not great people to begin with, so then they do awful things that we, oh, humanitarian crisis. Look at the humanitarian crisis we've created in Yemen. This John Bolton, he's awful. He's evil. I'm glad he's gone. Trump will probably hire some other awful person, but I'm glad this guy's gone. But MSNBC wants him there?
People of Venezuela, it'd be good for the people of the United States. We both have a lot at stake here, making this come out the right way.
We have a lot at stake. We have a lot at stake. He just said it. We need their oil. Bolton was the guy that was going to help get the oil. Now the guy that's going to help get the oil is gone. Chuck Schumer, today's action by Donald Trump is just the latest example of his government by chaos approach and rudderless national security policy. When Ambassador Bolton's extreme views aren't enough for you, the U.S. is headed for even more chaotic times. You should be happy that Bolton's gone, Chuck Schumer. Yeah, Trump is chaos. He's firing anybody that doesn't agree with him. But Bolton's a bad guy. He's bad. What do more court Democrats have to say? John Bolton's sudden departure is a symbol of the disarray that has unnerved our allies since day one of the Trump administration. Steady leadership and strategic foreign policy is key to ensuring America's national security. Okay. You still should be glad that he's gone. Ilhan Omar. John Bolton has been one of the leading proponents of making the world a dangerous place. Good riddance. That sounds like leadership to me. Good riddance. How is that so hard to say? I don't like Trump. His thing is in, he seems like his presidency's in disarray. But Bolton was awful. I'm glad he's gone. Let's get someone with half a non-evil brain in there. Good riddance, Omar says. Aaron Monte said that's what leadership looks like. He also said this is what leadership looks like. Good riddance. If Trump was for peace, he never would have hired Bolton, Pompeo, Haley, and the rest of those neocons in the first place. Absolutely. That's what Tulsi Gabbard says. She calls out how they're all a bunch of hawks. She's glad he's gone. They're awful people. I hope they all get fired. That's what you should be saying. I'm glad Bolton's gone. Let's get somebody reasonable in there. But Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are part of the war machine, right? And here's what Aaron Mate said. As the rest of the world breathes a sigh of relief that an unhinged warmonger is ousted from Trump's cabinet, the Democratic leadership laments the chaos and disarray caused by more personal changes, arguably the lamest politicians in history. And he references those two tweets that I just showed you, the Chuck and Nancy Pelosi. And this is one of this guy writes, isn't it odd that Schumer, Pelosi, and most of the Dems never called for Bolton's resignation? Isn't that a great, just some guy on Twitter points that out. They were never like, why is Bolton? They never screamed, get Bolton out of there. Get Pompeo out of there. Get Nikki Haley out of there. Awful people. Alex Bolton, get those guys out of there. And see his departure as a problem rather than a good thing. This guy, Reason Revolution. They are him and he is them. Boom. That's what this is. Bolton is one of them. They can say they don't like him, but they never called for his resignation. They never like, oh my God, Bolton's evil. Because that's when you know the ruling class, the deep state, the military-industrial complex, when they all agree, when both parties agree we got to go into Venezuela, we got to go into Iran, North Korea is dangerous. North Korea has tried to back channel for peace on 4 or 5 occasions. So did Iran during the Bush administration. They've tried to back channel for peace. They're poor countries. They need help. They've tried to back. North Korea has said, we'll give up the nukes. Just stop doing war games in the Sea of Japan. Help us out. Again, I don't think Kim Jong-un is some great peace-loving guy. He's nuts, but he's asking for peace. They sit there, they understand. America could just wipe us out, but no, that's not good for the war machine. That's not good for the money. And the Chuck Schumers and the Nancy Pelosi's and the Republican Party, they're all the same. They're all the same. They are him and he is them. They're all part of the war machine, man. That's what this is. Johnny Bolton. I'm glad he's gone. That's the only thing they can do. That's the only way they can resist Trump is just, oh, bad, Trump, bad. No policies, no, Tulsi Gabbard talks an anti-interventionist campaign. She says, why are we going there? She's smeared as an Assad apologist. MSNBC's been smearing her for 3 years. There's other things you can criticize Tulsi Gabbard for, and that's fair and that's legitimate. But not wanting more interventionist wars, you're smeared for that. There it is. Thanks to Aaron Monte, and thanks for watching the show, everybody. So we were flying along. We went from 20,000 to 52,000 subscribers in about 6-7 weeks, and now YouTube has leveled off. They're starting to unsubscribe people. They're doing that game again. They're throttling videos. So please hit the subscribe button, even if you've done it in the past. Same thing with the bell notification button. I go live Sundays at 3 p.m. And also I will be going live after the Democratic debates. And please support what I'm doing. Go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. It's a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. You get bonus content for $10 a month. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. You get bonus content for as little as $5 a month. And then subscribe, and share these videos. And go to GrahamElwood.com for all my tour dates. Moscow, September 20th. St. Petersburg, Russia. That's right. September 28th. And Ron Placone and I are doing Progressive Comedy Tour in Australia. November 14, Melbourne, the 15th, Adelaide, 17th, Sydney, and the 22nd in Perth. GrahamElwood.com. Thank you so much for watching. Boom.